going on, everybody? How are you today on this beautiful, Tuesday morning? I forgot what day it was. I had a long morning. I was up at 6. I'm on dog duty. I had to walk the dog 9 billion times. I fell back asleep on the couch. So when I tell you what, it feels like it's 2 p.m. I've been up that long where it feels like it should literally be 3 in the afternoon. Yeah, that's basically where I'm at right now. But we made it. We made it to Coffee with Brodes. We got a lot to discuss. We got the Fly Guys tonight. We had the Sixers last night. Very solid team win. We can still continue on with the Eagles' big blowout, if you will. And they end up having to see the Los Angeles Chargers on Sunday afternoon. And will there be a difference this week compared to what we saw over the last 7 first weeks of the season when it comes to the game plan and Nick Sirianni? So we don't know. We don't know. But what's happening, everybody? How are you today? Thank you so much for joining in. Yeah, I need this coffee bad. Throughout everything I had to put up with today, emotionally and physically, at 6 a.m., I did not have any sort of cup of coffee. And we're allowing the puppy right now, because I'm home alone. All right, the fiance had to go into work today. So we're allowing the puppy to run up and down. Like we normally put her in her crate when we go somewhere. She has access to the full upstairs for this entire hour. So what's going to happen is I'll end up going up there when Coffee with Brodes is over, and there's going to be piss and shit everywhere. I'm very nervous. This is a ballsy move by me. We'll see what happens. But how are you, everybody? Random Gamer mentions the Sixers bench as it's the best bench in the league. A couple question marks, I guess, asking it in a question. Sixers best bench in the league. I don't know if we can go to that level, but they're a nice deep team right now for sure. Sixers win last night was a big one. Proud of the guys for stepping up without Tobias and Embiid. No doubt about it. They just played with a camaraderie. They played with a cohesive group. You know, they played as a cohesive group of people, and they fought for one another and they battled, and everybody had their moments. Whether it was Furkan's back-to-back threes in the fourth, whether it was Seth Curry with some fourth quarter buckets, and of course earlier in the game being a dog as well. Whether it was Niang in the third quarter, whether it was Drummond with how many steals, what was he doing actively on the defensive end? What was his stat line? 14, 15, and 7. So he was passing the rock as well as grabbing so many boards. This team is getting eaten up a little bit on the defensive rebound side, but I think that will naturally kind of change as they figure this bad boy out. They are a little tinier without Ben, and Ben would grab some rebounds, but with Joel and Tobias, I think that they should be a little bit stronger on their defensive rebounds, something they struggled with against the Atlanta Hawks on Saturday night. What's up, Juan? What's going on? Good morning, bro. Watching all the way up in Connecticut. Love your content. Top Philadelphia sports. Thank you, man. I appreciate that, Juan. Thank you so much, man. Thank you for all of the support. That means a lot. Where at in Connecticut are you from? I lived in Boston for a little bit. I lived in Vermont for a handful of years as well, although I know Vermont's going through there. But the amount of hockey I've played in my life going through Connecticut and playing in Connecticut as well, I know the area-ish. Yeah, for sure. I mean, we knew he was better than Mike Scott. To be fair, everyone, because it's not very difficult to be better than Mike Scott, but did I ever anticipate him knocking down as many shots as he did last night and taking over an actual game and being a difference maker the way that he was in that third quarter and exploding? No, not to that level, right? There weren't many Mike Scott games. There's normally not many of those where that level of role player steps in and takes over a night. And I get it. There were some injuries, or I guess I should say some people unavailable for the game, which plays a major role into it. But he was awesome. He was absolutely awesome. New Britain, Connecticut is where I stay now. Oh, yeah, I know Dorchester. Yep, I definitely know Dorchester. That's where Kevin Hayes is from. But, yeah, I think everybody does know that at this point. But nice. I don't know where New Britain, Connecticut is, though. We want Lillard. Those were the chants last night. LOL, I know it's not possible, but it's fun to fantasize. I must be smoking whatever Sirianni was growing. That's pretty funny there towards the end. Yeah, obviously the "we want Lillard" thing's all fun and jokes. I don't think anybody really is anticipating that to happen at this point. Jordan says, "Where were you when the minivan ran over the Trailblazers?" Damn it, I'm so pissed off I didn't utilize the nickname minivan in my damn post-game pod. That's fucking hilarious. That's every time she says that, I mean, I'm not going to lie. I think of Jimmy Butler and his whole minivan process and whatnot. But damn, that is funny. Yeah, the minivan. That's what he calls himself. That's his nickname. That's pretty damn funny. That's good. Good work out of you, Jordan. That's pretty funny. Yeah, dude, I can't wait for UFC 268. I cannot wait. I thought 267. Unfortunately, I haven't missed a pay-per-view event since like 250, 251 or so. But 267, I did not really get an opportunity to watch as much as I would have liked to. The 2 p.m. start on a Saturday played a role into that. I was working on the radio, and then I had some things to do after. I am going to go back and watch that pay-per-view event, but 268 is just going to be ridiculous. I can't wait for Usman to just knock out Covington. I just can't wait. It's going to be ridiculous. It's one of the best cards I think we'll ever see ever. Seriously. One of the best cards we will ever see ever. It's going to be amazing. It is so damn stacked. I like the Michael Chandler Gaethje one is two fighters that I like so much that I don't know what to do with that information. You know what I mean? Like, I like Michael Chandler a lot, and I think I'm going to be pulling for him more than Gaethje. But it's one of those fights where both guys are just good people, good fighters, entertaining. It's hard to dislike either of them. But I really, really, really enjoyed Michael Chandler in his last effort. And yeah, that's just going to be nuts, man. And then Rose with the belt. Thug Rose with the belt. It's awesome just looking at her picture with it hanging over that shoulder, baby. I want to see her obviously keep that bad boy. Keep that right where it's at. Yeah. 268 is loaded with good fight. I think that's even underselling it. This honestly could be one of the stacked fights. Oh, no, Pop. What do we do? No. Now, the only thing Covington winning is good is it would create more theater down the road, but I don't want anything to do with that. I don't want more theater down the road. I want Usman. There'll be plenty of great theater with or without Covington winning to make this an epic three-fight battle here. I just want, the trilogy would be phenomenal, but I want purely Usman to just drop him. I want Usman to just kick him in the damn teeth and send it. It's done. I'm looking forward to it, though. I think I'm going to link up with Shelfie and watch the fights with Shelfie. We haven't gotten together in a little bit of time. I texted him last night. I'm like, yo, dude. One, it's been way too damn long. Two, we have some fighting to watch. Maybe we can fight a little ourselves while we're watching. Just a quick pop to the nose and then have a sip of beer. I don't know. Is that what people do that like fighting? Usman has progressed a lot on it. He's progressing, I mean, literally in so many different areas. Every time you watch the dude fight, you hear, whether it's DC or anybody else on the broadcast, just mentioning how much he's better in so many different areas in his game. That's all he does is consistently grow his craft. And he's already at the top of the top. He's already so damn elite. He's already so damn special, yet he's improving and improving and improving, which is scary as hell. You don't have to argue with me with this statement with Usman being one of the best of all time in the welterweight. Of course, I mean, he's a beast. He just continues, man. He continues. I hope he gets slept. Well, of course, he's one of the best fighters in the world. I mean, I wouldn't want to get into the octagon with him, but you're just discrediting here what Usman brings to the table and how sharp he is as well. So the Flyers got 4 out of 6 points on the road trip. What do we think so far, especially with them playing without Ellis? The Ellis thing is extremely concerning. The Ellis thing is 1,000% very concerning. I don't know how long they can keep this up with Justin Braun going +5 and rocking a handful of points each night. Like, I just don't think that's a recipe for success. Now, granted, you're playing the Arizona Coyotes tonight. That's a team you should beat with or without Ryan Ellis. Ultimately, to this point, they're a good team, obviously. They showed that, they have a lot of scoring. They can score up front. They showed that Carter Hart with a defensive core in front of him is significantly different than what we saw last season which was turnover, 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 and a lot of sloppy play, which related to the debacle that was last year with Carter Hart. So that's what we've seen. They're a better team. They're structurally sound. They're just smoother. They have a power play. They're a threat. You're afraid. You don't want to send Cam Atkinson, who's now on PP1. You don't want to send that unit out on the power play. You go, uh-oh, they can score. Claude Giroux utilizing that back wall for unbelievable passes. He's lighting the lamp as well. They had a hiccup against Calgary. If you bounce back with a couple wins after that, then it is what it is, and it's more of a hiccup than it is anything else. Now, they have some tough tasks. The Penguins, they've been struggling, although Crosby's back. He struggled his first game back. It's going to take him time to get into some rhythm. Then you have the Capitals. I mean, if you take care of the Yotes and the Penguins and you set yourself up for a Capitals team that's very strong, and then you play the Leafs after that, but the Leafs haven't been anything wild either. Mitch Marner, they're talking about what's happening with Mitch. You got 2 games here, 2 very winnable games. Take advantage of the teams that you should beat. That's what it's all about. Take advantage of the teams that you should beat. What do I think the Eagles are? Who do I think the Eagles are going to trade? I don't know. I don't know. That's why I'm very, very fascinated to see what's going to happen here. Normally, the NFL trade deadline is so damn hyped, and then by the end of it, it's not really as explosive as they make it out to be. But that's when that's called drama. That's what that is. That's called drama. It's over at 4 p.m., correct? I just want to verify it's 4 p.m. I don't know why my brain tells me it possibly can be 3 p.m. Tuesday, November 2nd, 4 p.m. is when the NFL trade deadline ends. Okay. But yeah, I mean, we'll keep an eye out on it. Them winning that game, now they're 3-5. I heard Adam Schefter say the Eagles might be in a position where they actually buy, but it's not buying for any sort of push for this season. It's buying for the thought of this guy, whoever it is here for 3-4 years, here for the future. So if they do make a big shebang, if they do make a big splash, it's not just, hey, they think they can compete for this year. I think everybody knows here in the NFC East what direction this is headed towards, and that's the Dallas Cowboys coming up victorious and making the postseason by winning the NFC East. But is there more to this where the Eagles are thinking ahead with $30 million coming off the cap, with these draft picks and compensation for next year? Can you get someone who's going to help out? And I can't rule that out depending on who that is. Do I think Embiid has hurt his reputation by breaking the player code? No, because he didn't throw his teammate under the bus. Absolutely not. I love that. He threw his teammate under the bus. You know what he did the other day? I love this, right? Nobody mentioned it at all. After the loss against Brooklyn, he literally went through what happened. He said, yeah, this was a big turning point in the game. I didn't do this. Tobias missed that. That happened. So what did he do? He explained the issue after the game. Not one person has made one big deal about it. Not one person has mentioned it. Hell, not one person has even brought it up. Why? Because that's not throwing anybody under the bus. That's just honestly telling you what happened in the basketball game. But when it's Ben Simmons, a crybaby who can't handle it because he's just soft as hell, it becomes a national story that Joel Embiid threw him under the bus because after the game he said, yeah, a big turning point was when we missed a layup or we did not dunk the ball and we only had 1 point. Then I turned the ball over. So he went through the entire sequence, but nobody's mentioning that. And then this season, to start the year, when they lost a hard one, an emotional one to the Brooklyn Nets, he did the same thing. And there's not one person talking about how he threw Tobias under the bus, because it doesn't matter, because it's not throwing anybody under the bus. It's just the fact that Ben Simmons is soft as hell. That's it. That's the only difference. Yeah, accountability is lost. That's funny, too. Everybody wants accountability. Brett Brown doesn't hold this guy accountable. This team doesn't hold this guy accountable. Yet Joel Embiid, not even holding the guy accountable, just stating what happened in the game. Just giving you factual information on what happens in the game. And it's labeled as this guy is not professional enough to his teammates. I'm just trying to have it make sense. That's all. Chiefs look really bad. Yeah, that's interesting. They did last night. I kind of forgot all about that Giants game. The Giants had some chances there, had some penalties, the offsides with the interception. That was brutal. Joe Judge was pissed off throughout that backstretch, which, it's kind of like conflicting because let's be realistic. If you're a Giants fan, you're proud of the way that your team battled on the road in Kansas City, even though they're not as good as you would have anticipated to start the year. There's still something to be said about a growing team with Daniel Jones and a young coaching staff and Joe Judge heading on the road, Andy Reid, and having that type of effort, but then you shoot yourself in the foot, and that's when the team needs to learn the win. They haven't learned to win yet in a proper setting like that, and unfortunately, you have to lose before most of the time before you win in those moments. So it's it's bittersweet, if you're a Giants fan, because that's a good hard-fought battle. That's a good battle, but there were a lot of self-inflicting wounds as well. I hope the World Series goes the distance. I really do. Jordan, why are you putting your hand over your face? Why? Why do you feel that way? Ryan said, is anyone untouchable in a Ben Simmons trade for Lillard other than Embiid? Does Lillard form concern? Why would I be concerned about Damian Lillard? Because he's off to a little bit of a slower start? There should be no reason why we should be concerned with Damian Lillard when our alternative is Ben Simmons riding the bike at practice. That's literally our alternative right now. My man not even practicing with the team and just dribbling the basketball. Because people making Lillard trade packages when they aren't trading him. Sure, I got you. Yeah, you're right. They're not trading him. I'm just more a little baffled by the should there be concerns if there is a trade that does happen. I heard this theory today. The reason why Joel sat, not the reason why Tobias didn't play, because we know that's the safety protocols, but the reason why Embiid sat and they chose this game specifically is to showcase some players. Hey, you like Maxey? Hey, you like Shake? Hey, you like Furkan? Hey, you like this? Hey, you like that? Give them some playing time to kind of showcase them. And whether they do make a trade or not for Lillard, whether there's CJ McCollum in the mix, which is still going to need some assets as well, possibly in that trade. It's, hey, Portland, do you like any of these guys in the way that they play? This is what they do. This is what they're capable of. And ironically enough, they ended up beating you when you had Lillard and CJ McCollum out there, your two best playmakers. And, is that something that they targeted to do? And when you talk to people around the league that do study these teams and they follow these teams, that is a method. That is something that is planned out, that is methodical, and it happens all the damn time. We're going back to Mr. 89. I can see this year's World Series going the distance. I want that to happen so bad. You know how we talked about this early on. So many people in the beginning stages of the World Series said, Brodes asked me, Brodes, who do you want to win? And I was in a mindset then of, I don't really care. I don't know either. Let me watch the series play out, and then my emotions will naturally pick a side, and then I'll find out due to in the feels of who I'm going to be rooting for. I'm clearly rooting for Houston. I don't want Atlanta to win, but if they did, it's not the most devastating thing ever. It's not the most painful thing in the world. It's not watching Boston win another World Series or another championship. It's not watching the Yankees finally break their streak of not being able to win the title. It's not the most disappointing thing ever, but I think my emotions are clearly telling me in the moment, bro, do you want Houston to win? And how funny would it be to watch an Atlanta franchise blow a major lead in a playoff series, and in the final series, all you need is one win, a finishing touch. You hit a grand slam at home. The place goes gnarly reaction, right? And then here come the Astros plucking away 4-1, 4-2, 4-4. They win 9-5. Now you have to head back into the dirty Houston. Oh, man, I want nothing but a Houston win. At least give me 7. You give me 7, because some of this series, there hasn't been too much drama. I thought last game was the most in terms of splashiness, noise, craziness, back and forth. Some of these other games this series have been a little bit bland. So if you can take it to 7 and have this become a battle where games 5, 6, and 7 really turned around the identity, there was a big shift in what this series was with excitement level and drama. That would be massive for sure, for us baseball fans at least. Those Sixers unis are fire. Yeah, they are, Pat. I love those Sixers unis. They look legit. Pretty damn sick. If Atlanta chokes the series, I don't see how anyone can root for them anymore. Well, I mean, it's like any sort of fans. Of course, they'll root for their teams. Just like with the Eagles, just like with the Phillies. I can't imagine rooting for the Phillies. They haven't seen the playoffs in how many years? They're the most losing franchise in history. They lose. They're losers. That's what they are. Who in their right mind would root for the Phillies? Here we are. Look, I even have a Phillies cap on today. All right, it's not even close to Philly season yet. I'm waiting for March. I'm waiting for spring training. When do the pitchers and catchers report? We still have World Series action, and I'm ready to see what they're going to do. I'm watching Twitter yesterday, and I'm scrolling on the Twitter sphere, and I'm seeing some graphics of how much money they have to play with when you break down the luxury tax and if they can go make some splashes and what type of players they can go acquire. They got 40+ mil to work with here before touching the luxury tax. So, look, my brain's on the Phillies, but all they do is lose. If the Braves blow it, they'll have 2 days to be tortured with 328, 28-3, and now 3-1. Oh, you mean actual dates on the calendar that they get mocked? Do people mock them on January, February, March? March 38th? Is that a thing? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they do. I just did not realize that was a thing. That's all. But yeah, I mean, that makes a lot of sense. What else makes a lot of sense is utilizing WinView. Are you tired of getting fleeced by the house? Are you tired of spending time researching players and teams only to end up short? Welcome to WinView. WinView is the only app where skill elevates you over the competition and into the money. Play against family, friends, fans, and rivals during live sporting events. Put your sports knowledge to the test with contests before the games and during, which allows you to experience watching games in a way that you never have before. Forget about the spreads, the salary caps, and over-unders, because all you need to do is answer questions about the games that you love. You could double your deposit bonus up to $100. For all first-time users, your first deposit will be doubled up to $100. That means if you deposit and spend $50, you'll get $100 in bonuses. If you deposit and spend $100, you'll get $200 in bonuses. This is the perfect bonus to take advantage of during the MLB postseason. WinView has NFL contests all week long, pregame and live. All you need to do is answer questions about the game. Also, keep in mind there's NBA, NHL. There's so much action to dive into with WinView. Make sure you check out winview.tv/Brodes. The link is down below in the description. I wish that Thibault had a consistent catch and shoot. No doubt about it. There is an issue there with his offensive game, and I know how much of a dog he is with his hands, and I know how much of a force he is with creating turnovers and getting steals and blocks and all that. But, it's like with Ben Simmons. You could talk about his defense all you want, but guess what? There is an issue. There is an issue with how he plays in the postseason because the game is different and it's slowed down and the half-court sets are a problem. You can make the same thing with Matisse Thybulle. You can make that argument that he's going to be limited. The role can't be as massive as it should be because of the lack of offensive growth and the lack of offensive ability, which stinks right now. March 38th. Did I say March 38th? Is that something I said? I meant March 28th. Just can't let that one slide. You know what? You talk for a living. You talk for 5 billion hours a day about sports. You'll have your slip-ups for sure. Ket Simmons out of Philly. I mean, I don't know what they're doing behind the scenes. He's showing up. He's putting in work by shooting with coaches and whatnot. And then that's basically it. Then he's riding the bike and he's not doing too much stuff with the team. So that's basically where we're at right now. Should Milton be the starting point guard and Maxey off the bench? I'm okay with what they're doing right now. I'd say keep it as is. If there ever needs to be a time where something has to switch and something has to change, I think that's the direction you go into, of course, where you do try that out. And, it's kind of like you have two options right now. And I'm not telling you either one of them are the most magnificent ever. Both of them have flaws. but that's because they're young and it's very difficult to settle down an offense and run an NBA offense when you are this young and you're playing against grown men, and it's a different type of beast. And you're also on the defensive side going up against some lethal weapons as well. Think about how many strong point guards there are in this league and how difficult that is for players like Shake Milton and Tyrese Maxey to have to defend, on top of knowing your offense and running your offense and getting everybody into their sets and establishing what they need to do. So it really is, an extremely difficult task. I like what they're doing right now. I like where they're at right now with Tyrese Maxey being the guy and then implementing Shake Milton off the bench. That's what I enjoy at this very moment. No, I did not watch too much of the Celtics game, although I did see that they lost. All I saw was they lost. They've had some heartbreakers, no? They had that overtime game earlier in the season. Maybe it was the Bulls. Maybe it was the Knicks. I forget who it was. And they had a nice start to the overtime or something. Then after that, they kind of lost it. Was it the Wizards? No, maybe it wasn't the Wizards. Was it the Hornets? No, they won that game. Maybe it was the Wizards. Or maybe it was the Knicks. They had a lot of overtime games so far. Two. But no, three overtime games out of their 7 games to start the season. That's actually a lot. But yeah, I mean, they are where they are right now. It's so early in the season. They're 2-5. It's not ideal, not a strong start. While the Sixers are 5-2. There's a lot of teams, though, in this area of 5-2, 5-3. The Wizards are 5-2. I don't think that they're going to hold this up forever. The Bulls are 6-1. Are they as hot as they started? Are the Knicks as hot as they started at 5-2? It's such an early sample size. We're only 7 games into the NBA season, so things will naturally kind of play its course out, and you'll see who they are by game 60 or so. You'll have more of a knowledge on, some of these teams that have hot starts or slow starts. Because the Celtics right now are in Pistons territory, and I just don't anticipate that happening over the longevity of the season at all. Yeah, what's up, Addison? How are you, man? Sixers looking to be gelling nicely. Yeah, it's a good word, gel. I think yesterday on the post-game pod, the word that was used I liked was chemistry. There seems to just be this molding process that's happening right now with these players, and that was going to take a little bit of time, and it's still a work in progress. It's still a journey, but it's starting to happen, and you're seeing it. That was going to be the case when you take Ben Simmons, who's been your primary ball handler and facilitator off the floor. He's been there for your last, 4 or 5 seasons, and that's been your steady type of player there. It's different when you have to talk about someone setting up your offense in a different way, and that's kind of what you're going through. So when you saw problems early on in the season, games 2, game 3, game 4 of the season or so, like that's going to happen. That's inevitable. How do you take steps in the right direction? How do you properly work on this? Well, they're starting to do it, but it takes some time. Bulls are serious? No, I'm sure. I mean, are they first seed in the Eastern Conference serious? That's a totally different level than, the 3rd seed, 4th seed. Are they the number 1 overall seed in the Eastern Conference? Right now, the Milwaukee Bucks are 3-4. Are they 3-4? Are they going to climb up? The Miami Heat are 5-1. And we know this. The Sixers last year were the number 1 overall seed in the Eastern Conference, and they lost in the second round. So winning regular season games does not really relate to winning postseason series and being threats there. So maybe they are. Maybe they are a regular season juggernaut that wins a lot of games, and then when reality strikes, they show their true colors. But we know that they added players to their roster. They are more deep. They have more skill at the top. Their heavier guys up top are definitely different than where they were a handful of years ago. But I don't know. I don't know if they're 6-1 good. Everyone's referencing the minivan, huh? Yeah, minivan is pretty damn good. It's a good nickname. So let's hope the Flyers don't find the way to be the team that loses to the Yotes. I mean, there is a part of me that thinks they're eventually going to win a hockey game. Like realistically, they are eventually going to win a hockey game. Is now the time. Do not run away. They're like, hey, it's inevitable. They're going to win one. And you have the Ghost returns game. And now you have Ghost coming back. What are they, 0-8-1 or something? What are the Yotes? 0-8-1 in 9 games. Hey, at least they got that 1 point. You got to gather those points if you want to make a push. They stink, though, no doubt. But you can't overlook your opponent. You cannot overlook your opponent, which I don't anticipate this team doing, but you never know. Here's what I do know, though. You should be utilizing BetQL. Let me tell you about BetQL. Do you want to get an advantage over your sports book? You need to download BetQL, the only app you'll need to make smart bets. Their best bet computer model scans 350,000 unique bets per year to give you the best bet recommendation. Their model covers everything: spreads, over-unders, and player prop bets. Their sharp data so you can see who the professionals are backing. Line movement so you can jump on betting opportunities in real time. Team summaries highlighting previous success against the spread and the team over-under. Lineup breaking news and injury status updates. Head to the App Store or Google Play Store right now to download BetQL. Enter the discount code Brodes at payment checkout for 25% off any of their subscription offerings. You can find this information down below in the description. I have so many different live reads right now on what's happening here. I don't think I need this one anymore. This is an older DraftKings one. I got a newer DraftKings one, but it's not for here. What's up, Connor? How are you? Joined a little late today. Do I have any predictions or opinions on who should be traded? I don't know. I do not know. This is a very bizarre situation for them to be in. We heard reports from Adam Schefter that don't be surprised if the Eagles do make a trade and buy, but with long-term in mind more than the short-term, more than just, hey, they're making a push this season kind of thing. It's more about the idea of, we can build with this specific player for the next handful of years. So if Adam Schefter is reporting that, I think that there's some validity to what Howie Roseman is thinking. That doesn't mean trading guys is off the table to get some sort of draft picks involved. Andre Dillard is a name, but looking at your offensive line, knowing guys get injured, knowing Mailata could switch to the right side if need be, which means Dillard would be the guy to slide into left tackle. If you can't get something compensation-wise that moves the needle and tickles your fancy, maybe Andre Dillard's a name, but I don't know. I am honestly sitting here like everybody else wondering, okay, what direction is Howie Roseman going to go into? Yotes lose tonight. They will tie their own record from 4 years ago. Worst start to an NHL season. We'll see. We'll find out. I don't like that Ghost hasn't scored yet. We all know where that can go. What, you mean he's going to blast one by Carter Hart? Is that what you're saying? He's going to walk into a clap bomb. Maybe it's a power play, because you do understand that the Flyers are going to take penalties today. That's what they do. So they're going to get their asses in the box at some point. There'll be 4 penalties, 5 penalties. They'll kill off all but one, and then that one will be a Shane Gostisbehere clap bomb. Maybe to take a 1-0 lead or something too, which would at that point, him fist pump into the glass or something. Why are you laying out this scenario for us? This is all you. This is not me. This is all you laying out this scenario. I'm just here repeating it to the people. That's all. Do I have more faith in Morey or Dombrowski? Both. I have the same amount of faith in both, because they're both very highly regarded in their respected sport. Now, Dave Dombrowski has won championships. He's actually won it before. Daryl Morey hasn't. But if you're going through drama the way the Sixers are going through drama, you don't want anybody else but Daryl Morey to be pushing those buttons and having the leverage. And I like the position that they're in. So I don't think it has to be a this or that. I think both of them fall pretty highly on my list. And it's ironic you bring this up, because over the weekend, Tyrone Johnson and I, when we were on 97.5 The Fanatic, he does his Twitter poll thread. And one of them was, who is the GM in this city that you trust the least? And of course, Howie Roseman ran away with it, because everybody hates Howie Roseman. But just put it in perspective on how good our general managers really are in this city, with Daryl Morey, Dave Dombrowski, Chuck Fletcher. And you can have the debate on it's time for Howie Roseman to go or not, whatever the case is. But let's say, fine. Let's say he's the worst ever, like everybody says that he is. You have 3 of 4 very, very strong general managers in their respected sport. Chuck Fletcher has made mistakes in the past with Minnesota when it comes to putting his team into cap hell, and there are some hefty contracts on this roster, but ultimately he is a sharp mind. He is a smart GM. He's not a poor one, and 3 out of your 4 teams are ran by very strong, respected general managers in their sport, which is an awesome spot to be in. That's step 1. Moore's just going to get his first championship in Philly. That's all. This will be his legacy stint. Hey, I'm with you, Greg. I mean, that sign me up. Sign me up for that hypothetical. Sign me up for that right there. Give me that scenario all day of the week, every single damn day of the week. Oh, and now we're losing the game 1-0 too. Look what I did. I didn't do this. This was Arm Zebra. Now we can't be just throwing this on me. That's preposterous. That's ridiculous. I've watched this team. They take 6 penalties a game. I don't care what team they play. You give the opposition that many chances, they'll eventually score. No doubt. Yeah, I mean, you could talk about how great their PK is. Those numbers are going to come back down to reality. Now, let's see. I don't know. Let's see. Special teams percentage by team 2021. Like, where do they... Oh, special teams. I have NFL special teams popping up. Basically, NHL special teams. What the hell? I mean, this is probably the worst way. Maybe I should just... I don't want team power play, though. Penalty kill percentage, maybe. I don't know why I made that so much more difficult than it needed to be. Penalty kill. The Flyers are percentage. Their PK is... Oh, my God. What are we doing here? Where are the Flyers? They're not even that good. They make it seem like they're amazing, don't they? Oh, their PK is so damn amazing. 80%? A little below middle of the pack? Am I missing something here? I mean, for real. I'm a little surprised that it's this low at 80%. The way that we talk about it, the way that we're so damn pumped up about it, the way that we're doing jumping jacks, they killed all 5 of 5 penalties. They're so special. They're at 80%. They're literally, 32 teams? 32, 31, 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21. They're 20th in the league in penalty kill. Is anybody else baffled to see that? Unless, I mean, well, I don't think that's wrong. So, I don't know. I thought that's a little bizarre. Now, this one has the Flyers at 73. What the fuck is this? This might not be 20. Yeah, that was last year, fully. Yeah, I agree. I thought that they would be significantly better. What I need you to do, I need you to fact check me, Arm Zebra, because I'm all over the map right now. But that's what I'm getting. That's the number I'm getting. Covers.com. 2021-22, which is this season. All NHL statistics. Penalty kill percentage. 20th in the league. Philadelphia Flyers, 80. And if you go to the amount of penalties they've actually had to kill, they had to kill 30 penalties. The highest is 40, which is Montreal, 36 Carolina, but they fall at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10th in the league in how many penalties they've even taken, which is crazy. How many penalties has everybody else taken? Because this is absurd, unless these stats are just wrong. Anyway, little mind-blowing statistics to start your day off here at Coffee with Brodes. I'm probably not going to run till 10 o'clock today, only because I have the dog duty. And, yeah, the fiance's not home all day because she's at work, and the puppy is insane. So I'm probably going to shut it down in a little bit here in a couple minutes. I'm waiting for Arm Zebra to fact-check me, and then I'll probably kind of close it down today. Just a shorter Coffee with Brodes. Just got a lot to do this morning. I am going to the Flyers game tonight, which is exciting. Get back down to the barn. This is their only game in a little bit of time because their next 3 games are on the road. They play the Penguins. They play the Capitals on Saturday night. Then they're home against the Leafs. Then they're on the road to the Canes, the Star. They got a lot of road games, and then they have a couple. They got a couple home ones in a row. Then there's a week, November 16th home, 18th home, 20th home. But they have a little stretch of not being at home, which kind of stinks. Maybe it's the cross-checking rule. Maybe. We've rescued her. They told us that she's a Aussie Border Collie mix, but we don't believe that that's what it is. But, when you rescue them, she came from Georgia and all, they don't have all the information. It's more just guesstimating. So we think we're going to do a test on exactly what she is and all, but she's a riot. She's 4 months. She's kooky. That's what we call her. We call her kooky. She's kooky. She's all over the place. She's nuts. But yeah, she's a riot. She's got to go to the bathroom every 5 minutes. She's barking up a storm. She's nibbling everything. So we got to keep our eyes on her all the time. 80%. All right. So you got what I got. You got exactly what I got. So it looks like I'm not wrong at all. But with that being said, With that being said, guys, I'm going to shut things down here today. I know a little bit shorter of a call for Brodes. We only went about 40 minutes or so, but just on daddy daycare today. You know, sometimes you just gotta maneuver through a little bit. Today we have to do that. So with that being said, I want to thank everybody so much. We'll talk more tomorrow. Of course, we'll have a post-game podcast tonight after the Flyers game. So I'll talk to you guys then. And with that being said, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys later.